Welcome back to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. Our focus this morning has been on literacy. We were just joined by the legendary actor and producer LeVar Burton, who was the keynote speaker here at Sharp Literacy Incorporated's annual luncheon, A Novel Event, presented by BMO Harris Bank here at the Pfister Hotel. We're now being joined by Lynda Kohler, President and CEO of Sharp Literacy Incorporated, and Raquel Filmanowicz, who's the VP of Community Affairs for BMO Harris Bank. Hi, ladies.
Hi. Hello.
Thank you so much for being here with me, and congratulations on an outstanding event today.
Thank you.
You had to be super excited to be able to bring someone like LeVar Burton to Milwaukee.
Thrilled, and you just never know how it's going to go until it's done. And he was everything that we thought he would be, and more.
Yeah.
He really did a great job, and I think he really had some relevant and some takeaways for the attendees in the group today, as well as the students.
Yeah, and we'll talk about some of the things that he had to say in today's keynote. But first, for those viewers who may be unfamiliar, tell them more about Sharp Literacy Incorporated and what it is you do on a daily basis.
Sure. Sharp Literacy has been around for 18 years, which I know seems surprises a lot of people, but we started off in a real small capacity. The founder, Marlene Dorr-Krautkamp, was a docent at the Milwaukee Art Museum, and as she led students around the art museum and saw kind of how they learned when they would see something visually, she thought, wow, this could be a program for our Milwaukee students. So really, in a nutshell, the mission of Sharp Literacy is to energize urban school children to be confident, capable readers, writers, researchers through the use of visual arts and hands-on interaction.
Yeah, and so you have expanded to reach 8,500 elementary students in 40 of Milwaukee's most at-risk schools. So define what at-risk schools are.
Sure, we're in all Milwaukee schools, all urban schools. We're in not only MPS, but we're in choice and charter schools as well. When we say at risk, over 85% of the students that we serve qualify for the reduced, free or reduced lunch and or breakfast. So that's kind of how we identify them as low income at risk students. And we have quite a few of our students that are special needs students as well that are intertwined with the classrooms. So yeah, 40 schools and 8,500 students, which is about 1,500 more students than we served last year.
That's awesome, continuing to grow, and that's always a positive thing. And today's event was made possible by a long list of sponsors, and BMO Harris Bank was the title sponsor. Raquel, if you could tell us, why is it so important for BMO Harris to be a part of something of this magnitude?
Sure. At BMO Harris Bank, it's our privilege to have sponsored this event for the second year in a row. We give a lot in the communities where we have a presence, and we just feel it's the right thing to do, especially around the area of education. It has a big chunk of our portfolio from a philanthropy side, and literacy in some of the urban schools to bridge that achievement gap is part of our core mission.
Yeah, and being here today definitely shines a light on that, and I think that it's important when corporations as large as BMO Harris Bank say to the community, we care and here's how we're giving back, and people like to see that. So it's my understanding that last year you as in BMO Harris Bank, raised $22.1 million through employee and corporate giving, providing funds to the United Way and other charities across the country. That's pretty major.
Sure. In the markets where we serve, we have a very large presence, and with that comes a responsibility to give back to the underserved, to those nonprofits that are certainly the safety net around education, housing, and the arts. So our employees are incredibly dedicated. It's part of our core mantra to give back and volunteer. It's just what's expected of us at BMO Harris Bank.
Okay, and so ladies, both of you witnessed LeVar Burton's keynote speech today, and what did you take away from it, Lynda?
I took away even more listening to him and how our missions are incredibly tied together.
Yeah.
You know, our part of our mission, our long mission statement is really to we're K-5 through 5th grade, and really what our mission, our goal is to have these students become lifelong learners. And how they're going to do that is by reading.
Yeah.
And as the statistics show, that if you cannot read by 4th grade, at a 4th grade level, it's going to be really, really hard for students to become, you know, readers. And if you can't read, you can't do math, you can't do science, you can't do a lot of the subjects. And what happens is they get to high school and they don't have the motivation, or they're embarrassed, and you know they drop out. And his statistics that he showed today, and how many high school students drop out each and every day, it's incredible. So our missions are so you know, tied together, and especially with, as he mentioned, is finding a passion for your kids to read. And our books are all, the books that we provide to our students are all based on the Common Core curriculum. So it's books on, you know, bees and salmon. So we try to, you know, have books that are fun and whimsical yet informational.
Absolutely. And Raquel, what did you take away from his speech today?
I loved his story about his mother and how she served as such a strong role model in his education and love of books. As a mom of 3, it just really made me think, like, they need to see me pick up a book and read to be that example, so that they can do that themselves.
Yeah, and it's all about reading. So even if they see you reading your fashion magazine, they say, "Mommy's reading," you know. So that is really an important point that he brought out that I really could appreciate, and I was so happy that he shared that with our viewers, because that small thing can truly make a difference. Lynda, what's the agenda for Sharp Literacy Incorporated? I mean, you have really outdone yourselves to have LeVar Burton come here today, but for the school year 2014-15, what's on the agenda? We
officially kick off tomorrow. We have our teacher in service tomorrow at the Milwaukee Art Museum, where the teachers that are participating in the Sharp program will meet and we'll talk about the curriculum moving forward for this school year. And after that, then we'll full force. We have presenters that will start going into the schools, into the classrooms, starting in October, and that'll happen through December. And then between first semester and second semester, our kids have the ability, the part of the Sharp program is the educational tours. And that was what else LeVar was talking about, his video tours, on how kind of tying it all back together. And that's what we do with our educational tours. We've always, 2nd through 5th grade, have always been at the Milwaukee Art Museum. This year is a little bit different, which we're kind of excited about, is because the Milwaukee Art Museum is going through some renovations, that they're only able to serve our 5th grade class. So our K-5, which is we're piloting this year, which is a new program, we have about 500 students in that program. K-5 will have the opportunity to go to the Linden Sculpture Gardens. And again, all of our educational tours are tied back to the vocabulary words in the core curriculum. And then 1st and 4th grade students will be at the Museum of Wisconsin Art in West Bend. And again, Sharp is all about creating new opportunities and giving our students opportunities and things that they would never be able to do without us. And 2nd grade is Discovery World. And then 3rd grade is a Jewish museum, which is just a gem. So right after the educational tours, we go into second semester and presentations and writing challenges, and assessing is very important to us and very important to our donors to know that what we're doing is making a difference. So our students will be, they are assessed at the beginning of the school year, pre-test and then post-test. So we'll have that going on, and then we'll have a celebration at the end of the year.
You have a full agenda,
Yeah, we do.
I love how you have it specifically set up for each age group, each grade, and they do walk away with a lot of things when they have the opportunity to go to places like the Art Museum or Discovery World. So it's got to be a very exciting opportunity.
It really
for
does,
them.
make sense to them. It's kind of that aha moment. Oh, now I get it. Yeah.
Their Oprah aha moment.
Exactly.
And now you were telling me before we started taping today that the idea to bring LeVar Burton to Milwaukee actually came from this young lady sitting right next to you. So tell me how that idea came about.
Well, after our program last year, we had Donald Driver, and we're like, oh no, how are we ever going to be Donald Driver? Who can we possibly get? And we contacted Raquel, and she said,
LeVar Burton. I mean, when I thought of celebrity or personality to bring around the issue around literacy and reading, I mean, I couldn't think of anyone else but LeVar Burton. I grew up with him. I loved his show. I still sing the little melody. It was just kind of a no-brainer, and the fact that they were able to secure him was, I was just overjoyed.
Yeah, and when we did contact his, booking agent, and you have to tell him a little bit about your mission and what you're about. I mean, it was a matter of a day. He got back to us.
He's like,
said,
"Oh yeah,
I'm in.
They qualify."
yeah, I want to do this. I want to be here. It's great
that.
because this is his first time in Milwaukee too.
Really, I didn't realize that. So
First
thanks
time.
to you, he'll probably be back.
I think so.
So now your biggest challenge is who can top LeVar Burton?
No,
Good luck with that.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, I did want to bring up a couple of things. You got a partnership going on, specifically one that we had talked about in another conversation, and that's with Marquette's basketball team.
Yes.
And how, in fact, did this partnership come about?
Interestingly enough, I have some good friends that work over at Marquette University, and they invited me to a golf outing, and I had the opportunity to meet Coach Wojo, and he asked what I did, and I told him what I did. He said, "Wow, we need to talk," because when I was at Duke, I ran the Read with the Blue Devils program. He said, so we're looking, one of his, I think, major initiatives at Marquette is to get the players more involved in the community, and coaches and staff and so forth. So we had an opportunity, my board chair and I, to meet with Coach Wojo and showed him our material. He said, "We want to be a part of this, Read with the Golden Eagles."
I love
so
it.
we officially kick off our program on Friday. And the interest from our schools and the teachers has been incredible, because they're role models to these kids. And unfortunately, a lot of our kids, they don't have a lot of role models in their life. So I think these they're just going to be, just floored by, the personalities, and we'll have a Q&A. And I had the opportunity to meet Coach Wojo's wife today, and she said, they're going to get as much out of it as the kids.
Yeah, and you talk about the concept of being a student athlete. That is a very big thing to take with a student, to be able to be successful as an athlete and in the classroom, so they can relay that over. And so many kids, when I go into schools and I say, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" It's like a football player, a basketball player. So
Right.
they are able to do probably better than anybody else, explain to the kids that education's first and then everything else comes after. So that's a great partnership that I
Right.
know you're excited
Yeah,
about.
we're really excited.
And you have your books that you work on each year. And this year, I'm really excited about this because you worked with Will Allen, who has been a guest on this show. So we know about the great things that he does in the community, for the community. And this is a chance for kids to learn about agriculture and write a book about it.
Right, and it's kind of a year ago when we were thinking about what our next book would be. We just, at the event last year, we unveiled our 11th We Love to Learn book, which was the Great Lakes Adventure, Salmon's Journey Home. So as we sat and brainstormed with the staff, what's relevant right now? What is the buzzword, and
Urban agriculture.
Urban agriculture. And we were fortunate to have Will Allen's son on our board, and said, "Hey, can you set up a meeting?" And we sat down with Will, and we showed him our books and kind of an outline of what we wanted to accomplish. It'll be a 3rd grade book. He said, "Absolutely, we're 100% in." And so we're unveiling our book in early November at Growing Power's International Small Farms and Agriculture Conference at Potawatomi.
Looking forward to it. Thank you both so much for being
Thank
here
you for
today. It
having
has been a
us.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Lynda Kohler is the president and CEO of Sharp Literacy Incorporated. You can find out more about them by logging on to sharpliteracy.org. And Raquel Filmanowicz is the vice president of community affairs for BMO Harris Bank. That is going to do it for today's show. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. Thank you for watching, and I do hope you join us again next week as we take another look at our issues, Milwaukee. Have a great day.